Hey guys, Ryan and Elena back here at Ground Control, still working from half guard from the bottom position. We're gonna go into the next sweep now. So the setup is still going to be the same. When we start, I come up, I establish the underhook, and now we're gonna work for a different sweep. Now, sometimes I'll do this when my first attempt fails with the knee block sweep that you guys saw in the previous video. Sometimes it's just the first one that we go towards. So I'm gonna make sure I have a nice deep underhook and my hands coming, can we rotate this way once? All the way across, and I'm trying to grab towards the far hip. I wanna control my opponent's hips completely. So I don't want my underhook coming up the back. I want going across the lower back so that we can control the hips with this. The next thing that I look to do is I'm gonna stay nice and tight. Now, again, this is gonna be done from my 2 points of contact with the mat. So my hips are gonna lift, and now as they lift, that's gonna eliminate space, and eliminate friction, and allow me to rotate my hips underneath so that I can dive under and execute the sweep. So the first thing that I do is I relieve my kickstand, rotating my hips, coming all the way underneath, trying to get my hips nice and deep underneath right there. As I do this, my knees are also gonna reverse crunch, and I'm gonna move so that my back of my hips are flat on the mat. Hopefully elevating my partner's hips at the same time. So as I come under, my knees come up, and I'm gonna control the inside of her knee with my other hand. We'll show that from a different angle. The last thing that I try to do is I'm gonna extend my legs out and chop down towards the mat. Bringing her all the way over, and then hopefully finishing with a pass. We'll go over the hand position and kind of break that down a little bit. So when I'm diving under here, as I come under, a lot of times you'll see people get super deep, trying to dive nice and deep. I feel like if I'm not controlling the distance in her knee, she can sprawl and put weight on me. So if I'm too deep right here and Elena goes to sprawl, she's gonna really have good control over her hips and her weight. Whereas if I'm controlling, I'll just take my palm, my fingers are pointed towards the mat, and I try to block the inside of her knee with my elbow tight towards my body. As she goes to sprawl, it's no longer there. So now as I start rotating, we can really lift that knee over and finish the sweep. Obviously, this is a little bit slow for demonstration purposes. There is going to be an element of timing that comes into it. So we don't want to make it so choppy like you're seeing right here. We'll go over it real quick, just a little faster speed. So as I come up and I have my underhook, now as I lift my hips up, I'm going to shoot my hips down underneath. Also notice my knee dives under at the same time. Avoid the temptation of just falling straight to your back. You'll see that a lot of times is that when people are diving under, they think it's a big pull, and now I have no control. I'm not underneath her hips at all. Instead, shoot your hips underneath. So rather than pulling, shoot your hips under as our legs come up and chop away. We'll go one more time. So as I bring myself up to my underhook, I'm gonna lift my hips, and now from here, it's gonna be one motion, one smooth motion, shooting under, keeping my knees pinched, and really using my legs to control her hips. Up and chopping back down. And that's the dive under sweep from half guard.